This is number 22 in my countdown of the top 50 games in my collection. This is Risk Star Wars. And even though it has the name Risk on the box, this is not Risk. Other than rolling dice to remove other units, this is not Risk in the least. So essentially what this game is the last hour of Return of the Jedi in a box. You get to play out the last hour of the movie, essentially trying to blow up the newly constructed Death Star. The Emperor's on the station. Luke and Vader are going against each other. Han's down on the planet, trying to turn off the shield generator. So there's kind of what I just described. There's three battles going on at the same time, and you, as a player, you're either the Imperials or the Rebels, will have a hand of cards to choose from. And the mechanic I like about this one is there's multi-use cards in this game. So the cards will have different symbols on them. Like the red lightsaber is you do something with Vader, and the Death Star is you shoot the Death Star, and the lightning bolt is the Empire attacks Luke, and TIE fighters is you move TIE fighters, and the green symbol here is your stormtroopers are reinforcing the moon down on Endor to slow down Han. And the executor launches moves and can launch some additional TIE fighters. So you'll have a stack of cards, a hand of cards, 6 cards, and then you will pick 3 of them and make a stack, which will become your orders stack. And the Rebel player will do the same. The Rebel player's cards say the same thing, are very similar. They there's the move a Y-wing squadron or advance Han up the track. Luke Skywalker attacks. Oh, there goes Death Star. Move some X-wings, move some B-wings. And there's tracks along the sides of the board that will track, like on this side of the board is the Endor track, and you will move Han up the track. Luke and Vader's duel is on this side of the board and how much damage they take. If Vader is down to his last 3 hits and you happen to play the Vader card, that's when Vader realizes the error of his ways and attacks the Emperor. But you can only play it when Vader's almost dead. So the way it works is to win, the Imperials have to destroy all the Rebel ships, and there's quite a few on the board, but the Death Star can wipe out an entire section as it shoots. The Rebels have to first knock out the shield generator in order to attack the Death Star. Once the Death Star is available, they can make an attack from an adjacent section on it with fighters or with a Millennium Falcon, and if they roll a 6, it blows up, and the Rebels win. The Rebel ships have different. How should I say it? Some are easier to blow up than others. Like when you move a squadron of TIE fighters adjacent, and you can never go in the same space as the opponent. You attack from the adjacent space. So the TIE fighters would roll 4 dice, and what they need to hit varies on the ship. Like to hit the Falcon, you need a 5 or a 6 on the die, and the Falcon can take 7 hits before it blows up. Likewise, the B-wings, the blue ones, are only hit on 5s. The Y-wings are hit on 4s. The X-wings are hit on 3s. TIE fighters are hit on 4s, so they made TIE fighters tougher than X-wings, but that's it's like the first movie. So yeah, it's interesting in that Han moves up the board Han will roll when you move the Rebels up the Endor track. They'll roll 5 dice, and then there's a list of numbers, how many spaces they'll move. Like he needs to roll a 2 or better to go through into this space, but he needs to roll a 5 or better. on these spaces, and it gets harder as you go up. The stormtroopers, if you place a stormtrooper, which is what the Imperials will do, it makes it one tougher. So they'll need a 3 or better in that first spot. And by slowing Han down, that really helps the Imperial player out. If Vader should fall, the rebels will immediately draw, I think it's 3 cards, and slide it under their order stack. So it's like 3 extra actions that turn that Vader falls. If you turn Vader, the rebels will get 5 extra cards slid under. If Luke falls, the Imperials will get, I think it's 4 extra cards right away. So, yep, it's not too complicated. They say you can play 4 players, but it's really a 2-player game. And like I said, it takes about an hour. A lot of nice little minis. This is the black version that came out when it was first out. You can probably still find it on Amazon. The picture in the image is the standard version, and I've seen this at Target. And there's actually this is a replacement for, because they lost the license or something. There's a game that was another Risk game based on Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which had 4 battles going on at once. So it had the Darth Maul versus the 2 Jedi, and the Queen was taking the palace, and the Gungans were fighting the droid army, and then there was the space battle going on all at the same time. So there were 4 different paths you can go, and that's what gamers call a grail game. At least for me, if I could find a copy of that would I'd be happy, because that has probably 3 times the amount of pieces that this does, and it actually builds up for in the center. There's 3 different layers for the Imperial Palace that the Queen's trying to get to, but getting away from this one. This is 22 Risk Star Wars. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for 21 for the kids.